call for the dawn prayers in Granada, Spain, starts the day for 19-year-old Isa Lopez. Before praying, he goes through a process of ritual washing, cleaning his hands, face and feet. Isa was born into a Spanish Muslim family and grew up in Granada, near the famous Alhambra, our next wonder of the Muslim world.
Bueno, me siento orgulloso porque Granada es mi ciudad donde nací.
Well, I feel proud because Granada is my city. It's the place where I was born, where I grew up. So, of course, when people come from far away to see your city, to see Alhambra, to see everything that's linked to it and find out about Granada, you feel proud.
Granada has a very important place in the hearts and memories of Muslims. The Alhambra stands across the valley from the mosque where Isa says his prayers. Designed by Muslim architects and built in the 13th century by the Arab rulers of Andalusia, the Alhambra is a celebration of Islamic design and beauty, inspired by the Quranic visions of paradise.
In the Quran, there are 22 separate references to gardens beneath which rivers flow. So for a Muslim, the recurrent image of paradise is an oasis. Shady trees, and among them, buildings. Splendid buildings, tiered buildings, pavilions, palaces. Now, that is the set of ingredients out of which paradise is formed in the Quran, in a physical sense. And the Alhambra could be regarded as a recreation of that on earth.
The Alhambra is one of Europe's most visited tourist attractions. But few visitors will notice Granada's new mosque, across the valley where Isa comes to say the first prayer of the day. The morning prayer, Fajr, can be performed at any time between the breaking of the dawn till just before sunrise. Some Muslims say that it is the prayer most favorably looked upon by God because others are asleep while it's being performed.
Well, the prayer of Fajr for me is of utmost importance because it's the way that one starts the day. If you start praying early, doing your prayer either in company or alone in your house, and you know, it's really important for me because you wake up and you pray and it starts the day on the right note.
This is the first mosque to be built in Granada for nearly 500 years. It took the city authorities 20 years before they gave the go-ahead for the work to start. Spain's relationship with Islam is a complicated and long-standing one. It goes back over 1,000 years to the 8th century, to the Arab conquest of southern Spain, after which began a golden age that saw the building of the Alhambra and lasted for 800 years.
I think it's very significant that the new mosque in Granada overlooks Alhambra. In a way, it is reclaiming the history of which Alhambra is a part. It is saying that Islam has a long history in Europe. So it's reclaiming the history, Muslim history of Europe, the period, 800 years period of Moorish Spain, where thought, culture, civilization and learning flourished, where three monotheistic faiths worked so well together for so long.
Isa's parents converted to Islam before he was born. In the 1970s, they were part of a liberal post-Franco Spain, freshly experiencing a newly discovered religious tolerance.
Several
things happened at once, and we were in a state of seeking or looking for an alternative, something to fill our lives, and Islam crossed our path. Strange, because it wasn't something that had featured historically, in books or at school. And it's odd, because Andalusia itself has a strong connection with Islam. But of course, all they told us was that the Moors arrived, conquered the south of Spain, and were then thrown out. That's all we knew about their culture, about Islam here in Spain. We got to know a community established here in Granada. They spoke to us. They opened up their arms and their doors to us, and we all shared the same feelings. That's what we wanted, to make a change. That's what made us join Islam and understand existence from another point of view.
When Isa's parents decided to convert, they had to perform the first pillar of Islam, the Shahada.
Well, the Muslim devotional life revolves around what are known as 5 pillars of Islam. And we begin with the Shahada, that is the witness I give that I am a Muslim, which is La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. There is no God but God, and Muhammad is the messenger of God. That, in fact, is the declaration of faith.
When you understand the Shahada, you understand everything which is connected with Islam, which is oneness of God. There is no other God but Him. And this is something which is quite important here. It's just your own ego, idols, anything which has to do, anything that you can worship, money, even your own kids. Be careful. So this is oneness of God. And then you follow the last prophet, and the last prophet is, once again, the last of many other prophets. So it's a universal message of respecting all the prophets, Jesus, Abraham, Moses, and all the others that we know and don't know even. So this is something which is it's embodied the whole teachings of Islam.
So the
Shahada is confirming that Allah is the only God, that the Prophet Muhammad was a messenger, that you welcome it into your heart performing the Shahada, and from then on you are a Muslim. For me it is the most powerful pillar. It is the pillar you must accept first.
The Shahada is what defines a Muslim, whether one is born into the faith or converts to it. It is the first words a Muslim baby hears, and the last words before they die. They are words of monumental significance. It binds the Muslim world together. Granada has about 15,000 Muslims today, mostly Moroccan and Syrian immigrants, and North African students. When in a few days Isa sets off to make his pilgrimage to Mecca, he will be the first of his friends to do so.
I mean, I have a lot of friends which aren't Muslims, but they respect me, I respect them. I play football with them, or I go, I don't know, bowling, play snooker,
we
or just go and together, chill out. I mean, they're sort of like family because they're grown up together, and that creates like a strong bond between them. But then you meet someone and you know he's a Muslim, so he's basically on the same path as you, so the friendship grows stronger, I think.
Isa and his family and friends are part of a new chapter for Islam in Europe. Something represented by both the historic tourist attraction of the Alhambra and by the new Granada Mosque.
It is saying to Europe that you have an Islamic history too, that what you are today, you owe some of it to the history of Islam. Liberalism, humanism, the great seats of learning, all that came from Moorish Spain. So there's double connection. Muslims have a real presence in Europe in terms of history. And the Muslims of today are not alien to Europe. They are part and parcel of that history.